Chapter 21. The Prophets. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Closer and closer to mankind comes their reckoning, yet they turn away in heedlessness. There does not come to them a reminder from their Lord as a recent revelation, but they listen to it while they play. With their hearts occupied with evil things, those who do wrong conceal their private counsels, saying, "Is this Muhammad anything more than a human being like you? Will you submit to magic while you see it?" Say, "My Lord knows every word spoken in the heavens and on earth, and He is the All-Hearer, the All-Knower." No, they say, these revelations of the Quran, which are inspired to Muhammad, are but mixed-up false dreams. No, he has invented it. No, he is a poet. Let him then bring us a sign as a proof, just as the prophets that were sent before came with signs. Not one of the towns of those which we destroyed believed before them, though we sent them signs. Will they then believe? And we did not send before you, O Muhammad, any but men whom we inspired. So ask the people of the reminder, if you do not know. And we did not create the messengers with bodies that did not eat food, nor were they immortals. Then we fulfilled to them the promise, and we saved them and those whom we willed, but we destroyed the extravagant in oppression, polytheism, and sin. Indeed, we have sent down for you, O mankind, a book, this Quran, in which there is a reminder. Will you not then understand? How many a nation that were wrongdoers have we destroyed, and then raised up after them another people? Then, when they saw our torment coming, they tried to flee from it. Do not flee, but return to where you lived a luxurious life, and to your homes, in order that you may be questioned. They cried, "Woe to us! Certainly we have been polytheists, wrongdoers, and disbelievers in the oneness of Allah." And that cry of theirs did not stop till we made them like a field that is reaped and barren. We did not create the heavens and the earth, and all that is between them for mere amusement. Had we intended to take a pastime, we could surely have taken it from us, if we were going to do that. No, we sent down the truth, this Quran, against the falsehood of disbelief. So it destroys it, and behold, falsehood is vanished. And woe to you for that lie which you ascribe against Allah by uttering that Allah has a wife and a son. To him belongs whosoever is in the heavens and on earth. And those who are near him, the angels, are not too proud to worship him, nor are they weary of his worship. The angels glorify his praises night and day, and they never slacken in doing so. Or have they taken for worship gods from the earth who raise the dead? Had there been in the heavens and the earth gods besides Allah, then indeed both would have been ruined. Glorified be Allah, the Lord of the throne. High is He above what they attribute to Him. He cannot be questioned as to what He does, while they will be questioned. Or have they taken for worship other gods besides Him? Say, bring your proof. This Quran is the reminder for those with me and the reminder for those before me. But most of them do not know the truth. They are averse. And we did not send any messenger before you, O Muhammad, but we inspired him, saying, "None has the right to be worshipped but I, Allah, so worship me alone and no one else." And they say, "The most gracious Allah has begotten a son or children. Glory be to him." Those whom they call children of Allah, such as the angels, Jesus, son of Mary, and Ezra, are but honored slaves. They do not speak until He has spoken, and they act on His command. He knows what is before them and what is behind them, and they cannot intercede except for him with whom He is pleased. And they stand in awe for fear of Him. And if any of them should say, "Indeed, I am a god besides Allah," such a one we would recompense with hell. Thus we recompense the polytheists and wrongdoers. Have not those who disbelieve known that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one united piece? Then we clove them asunder, and we have made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe? And we have placed on the earth firm mountains, lest it should shake with them, and we placed in it broad highways for them to pass through, that they may be guided. And we made the heaven a roof, safe and well guarded. Yet they turn away from its signs. And he it is who has created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, each floating in an orbit. And we did not grant to any human being immortality before you, O Muhammad. Then, if you die, would they live forever? Everyone is going to taste death, and we shall make a trial of you with evil and with good, and to us you will be returned. And when those who disbelieve in the oneness of Allah see you, O Muhammad, they ridicule you, saying, "Is this the one who talks badly about your gods?" While they disbelieve at the mention of the most gracious Allah. Man is hasty by nature. I will show you my proofs, signs, and revelations, so do not ask me to hasten them. And they say, when will this promise come to pass, if you are truthful? If only those who disbelieve knew the time when they will not be able to ward off the fire from their faces, nor from their backs, and they will not be helped. No, the fire and the day of resurrection will come upon them all of a sudden, and will perplex them, and they will have no power to avert it, nor will they receive respite. Indeed, many messengers were mocked before you, O Muhammad, but the scoffers were surrounded by that which they used to mock. Say, who can guard and protect you in the night or in the day from the punishment of the most gracious Allah? No, but they turn away from the remembrance of their Lord. Or do they have gods who can guard them from us? They have no power to help themselves, nor can they be protected from our torment. No, we gave the luxuries of this life to these men and their fathers, until the period grew long for them. Do they not see that we gradually reduce the land in their control at its outlying borders? It is they, then, who will be overcome. Say, O Muhammad, I warn you only by the revelation from Allah, but the deaf, who follow others blindly, will not hear the call, even when they are warned that one should follow only the Quran and the legal ways of the Prophet Muhammad. And if a minor calamity of the torment of your Lord touches them, they will surely cry, "Woe to us! Indeed, we have been polytheists and wrongdoers." And we shall set our balances of justice on the day of resurrection. Then none will be dealt with unjustly in any regard. And even if there be the weight of a mustard seed, we will bring it forth and take account of it. And we are sufficient as reckoners. And indeed, we granted to Moses and Aaron the criterion of right and wrong, and a shining light, and a reminder for the pious. Those who fear their Lord without seeing him, while they are afraid of the hour. And this is a blessed reminder, this Quran, which we have sent down. Will you then dare to deny it? And indeed, we bestowed before on Abraham his portion of guidance, and we were well acquainted with him as to his belief in the oneness of Allah. He said to his father and his people, "What are these images to which you are devoted?" They said, "We found our fathers worshipping them." He said, "Indeed, you and your fathers have been in manifest error." They said, "Have you brought us the truth, or are you playing about?" He said, "No, your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who created them, and of that I am one of the witnesses. And by Allah, I shall plot a plan to destroy your idols after you have gone away and turned your backs." So he broke them to pieces, all except the biggest of them, that they might turn to it. They said, "Who has done this to our gods? He must indeed be one of the wrongdoers." They said, "We heard a young man talking against them, who is called Abraham. Then bring him before the eyes of the people, that they may testify." They said, "Are you the one who has done this to our gods, O Abraham?" Abraham said, "No, this one, the biggest of the idols, did it. Ask them if they can speak." So they turned to themselves and said, "Indeed, you are the ones who have been transgressing." Yet they reverted to their old ideas and said, "Indeed, you, O Abraham, know full well that these idols do not speak." Abraham said, "Do you then worship besides Allah things that can neither profit you nor harm you? Woe upon you, and upon that which you worship besides Allah. Have you then no sense? They said, Burn him, and support your gods, if this is what you decide to do. Allah said, O fire, become coolness and safety for Abraham. And they wanted to harm him, but we made them the worst losers. And we rescued him and Lot to the land, which we have blessed for mankind and jinn. And we bestowed upon him Isaac and a grandson Jacob. Each one we made righteous. And we made them leaders, guiding mankind by our command. And we inspired in them the doing of good deeds, performing prayer, and the giving of charity. And they worshipped us alone. And remember Lot. We gave him right judgment of the affairs and prophethood, and religious knowledge. And we saved him from the town who practiced evil, wicked, and filthy deeds. Indeed, they were a people given to evil, and were rebellious and disobedient to Allah. And we admitted him to our mercy. Truly, he was of the righteous. And remember Noah, when he cried to us in times gone by. We listened to his invocation, and saved him and his family from great distress. We helped him against people who denied our proofs, signs, and revelations. Indeed, they were a people given to evil, so we drowned them all. And remember David and Solomon, when they gave judgment in the case of the field in which the sheep of certain people had pastured at night, and we were witness to their judgment. And we caused Solomon to understand the case, and to each of them we gave right judgment of the affairs, prophethood, and knowledge. And we subjected the mountains and the birds to glorify our praises along with David. And it was we who were the doers of all these things. And we taught him the skill of making metal coats of mail for battles, to protect you in your fighting. Are you then grateful? And to Solomon we subjected the wind strongly raging, running by his command, towards the land which we had blessed. And of everything we are the all-knower. And of the devils from the jinn were some who dived for him to harvest the sea, and did other work besides that, and it was we who guarded them. And remember Job, when he cried to his Lord, Indeed, distress has seized me, and you are the most merciful of all those who show mercy. So we answered his call, and we removed the distress that was on him. And we restored his family to him that he had lost, and the like thereof along with them, as a mercy from ourselves, and a reminder for all who worship us. And remember Ishmael, and Enoch, and Isaiah, all were from among the patient ones. And we admitted them to our mercy, indeed they were of the righteous. And remember Jonah, when he went off in anger, and imagined that we shall not punish him. But he cried through the darkness, saying, None has the right to be worshipped but you, O Allah. Glorified and exalted are you above all the evil that they associate with you. Truly I have been of the wrongdoers. So we answered his call, and delivered him from his distress. And thus we do deliver the believers, who believe in the oneness of Allah, and abstain from evil and work righteousness. And remember Zechariah, when he cried to his Lord, O my Lord, do not leave me childless, for you are the best of the inheritors. So we answered his call, and we bestowed upon him John, and cured his wife to bear a child for him. Indeed, they used to hasten on to do good deeds, and they used to call on us with hope and fear, and used to humble themselves before us. And remember she who guarded her chastity, Mary. We breathed into the sleeves of her garment through Gabriel, and we made her and her son Jesus a sign for mankind and jinn. Truly, this religion of yours is one religion, and I am your Lord, therefore worship me alone. But later generations disputed, and cut off their unity with one another, and they shall all return to us. And whoever does righteous good deeds, while he is a believer in the oneness of Allah, his efforts will not be rejected. Indeed, we record it in his book of deeds. And when they entered according to their father's advice, it did not avail them in the least against the will of Allah. And Jacob had a personal reason for asking them to do this, for he possessed certain knowledge that we taught him, but most men do not know. And when they went in before Joseph, he took his brother Benjamin closer to himself and said, "Indeed, I am your brother, so do not grieve for what they used to do." So when he had supplied them with their provisions, he put the golden cup into his brother's bag. Then a crier cried, "O you in the caravan, surely you are thieves!" They, turning towards them, said, "What is it that you are missing?" They said, "We are missing the golden cup of the king, and for him who produces it is the reward of a camel load. I personally guarantee this." Joseph's brothers said, "By Allah, indeed you know that we have not come to make mischief in the land, and we are not thieves." Joseph's men said, "What then shall be the penalty if you are proved to be liars?" Joseph's brothers said, "The penalty should be that he in whose bag it is found should be held for the punishment of the crime. Thus we punish the guilty." So Joseph began the search in their bags, before the bag of his brother. Then he brought it out of his brother's bag. Thus did we plan for Joseph. He could not take his brother by the king's law as a slave, but that was the will of Allah. So Allah made the brothers bind themselves with their way of punishment to enslave the thief. We raise to degrees whom we please, but over all those endowed with knowledge is the all-knowing Allah. Joseph's brothers said, "If he stole something, so did a brother of his in the past." Joseph concealed his feelings in himself, and did not give them any clue. He said within himself, "You are in the worst case, and Allah knows best the truth of what you assert." They said, "O ruler of the land, indeed he has an old father who will grieve for him, so take one of us in his place. Indeed we see that you are a kind man." He said, "Allah forbid that we should take anyone but him with whom we found our property. Indeed, if we did so, we should be wrongdoers." So when they despaired of him, they held a conference in private. The eldest amongst them said, "Do you not know that your father took an oath from you in Allah's name, and before this you failed in your duty with Joseph? Therefore I will not leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah decides my case by releasing Benjamin, and he is the best of judges. Return to your father and say, 'O our father, indeed your son Benjamin has committed theft, and we do not testify except according to what we know, and we could not know the unseen. And ask the people of the town where we have been, and the caravan in which we returned, and indeed we are telling the truth.'" Jacob said, "No, but you have contrived a story. So quiet patience is most fitting for me. Maybe Allah will bring them all back to me. Truly only He is all-knowing, all-wise." And he turned away from them and said, "How great is my grief for Joseph." And he lost his sight because of the sorrow that he was suppressing. They said, "By Allah, you will never cease remembering Joseph until you become weak with old age, or until you are dead." He said, "I only complain of my grief and sorrow to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. O my sons, go and inquire about Joseph and his brother, and never give up hope of Allah's mercy. Certainly no one despairs of Allah's mercy except the people who disbelieve." Then, when they entered to Joseph, they said, "O ruler of the land, a hard time has hit us and our family, and we have brought poor capital. So pay us full measure, and be charitable to us. Truly Allah does reward the charitable." He said, "Do you know what you did with Joseph and his brother when you were ignorant?" They said, "Are you indeed Joseph?" He said, "I am Joseph, and this is my brother Benjamin. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. Indeed, he who fears Allah with obedience to him, by abstaining from sins and evil deeds, and by performing righteous good deeds, and is patient, then surely Allah does not make the reward of the righteous to be lost." They said, "By Allah, indeed Allah has preferred you above us, and we have certainly been sinners." He said, "There is no blame on you this day. May Allah forgive you, and he is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Go with this shirt of mine, and cast it over the face of my father. He will become clear of sight, and bring all your family to me." And when the caravan departed, their father said, "I do indeed feel the smell of Joseph. If only you did not think me to be a person who has weakness of mind because of old age." They said, "By Allah, you are still in your old confusion." Then when the bearer of glad tidings arrived, he cast the shirt over his face, and he became clear-sighted. He said, "Did I not say to you, I know from Allah that which you know not?" They said, "O our father, ask forgiveness from Allah for our sins. Indeed, we have been sinners." He said, "I will ask my Lord for forgiveness for you. Indeed, He, only He, is the oft-forgiving, the most merciful." Then, when they entered Joseph's quarters, he took his parents closer to himself and said, "Enter Egypt, if Allah wills, in security." And he raised his parents to the throne, and they fell down before him prostrate. And he said, "O my father, this is the interpretation of my dream of old. My Lord has made it come true. He was indeed good to me when he took me out of the prison, and brought you all here out of the Bedouin life, after Satan had sown enmity between my brothers and I. Certainly my Lord is the most courteous and kind to whom he wills. Truly He, only He, is the all-knowing, the all-wise. My Lord, you have indeed bestowed on me sovereignty, and taught me the interpretation of dreams. You are the only creator of the heavens and the earth. You are my protector, helper, supporter, and guardian, in this world and in the hereafter. Cause me to die as a Muslim, one submitting to your will, and join me with the righteous. This is of the news of the unseen which we reveal by inspiration to you, O Muhammad. You were not present with them when they arranged their plan together, and also while they were scheming. And most of mankind will not believe, even if you desire it eagerly. And, O Muhammad, ask no reward of those who deny your prophethood, for the Quran is no less than a reminder and advice to men and jinn. And how many a sign in the heavens and the earth do they pass by, because they are averse to them? And most of them do not believe in Allah, but instead they attribute partners to Him. Do they then feel secure from the coming against them of the covering veil of the torment of Allah, or of the coming against them of the final hour, all of a sudden while they do not perceive? Say, O Muhammad, this is my way. I invite to the oneness of Allah with clear proofs. I, and whoever follows me, must also invite others to the oneness of Allah with clear proofs. Glorified and exalted be Allah above all that they associate as partners with Him. And I am not of the polytheists, pagans, idolaters, and disbelievers in the oneness of Allah, those who worship others along with Allah, or set up rivals or partners to Allah. And we sent not before you as messengers any but men, whom we inspired from among the people of towns. Have they not travelled through the earth, and seen what was the end of those who were before them? And indeed, the home of the hereafter is the best for those who fear Allah, and obey Him by abstaining from sins and evil deeds, and by performing righteous good deeds. Do you not then understand? They were reprieved until when the messengers gave up hope, and thought that they were denied by their people, then came to them our help. And whoever we willed were delivered. And our punishment cannot be warded off from the people who are criminals, disobedient to Allah, sinners, disbelievers, and polytheists. Indeed, in their stories there is a lesson for men of understanding. The Quran is not a forged statement, but a confirmation of Allah's existing books, the Torah, the Gospel, and the other scriptures of Allah, and a detailed explanation of everything, a guide and a mercy for the people who believe.
Please subscribe to our channel. Kindly like, share, and comment on our videos. If anyone benefits because of your like and share, then God may provide you with unlimited reward, which is called sadaqatul jariyah in Islam. Sadaqatul Jariyah is continuous rewards received for good actions, deeds, and spreading knowledge. It is a gift that not only benefits us in this life, but also benefits us and our loved ones in the hereafter. According to the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, narrated by Muslim, when a person dies, all the deeds end except three: a continuing charity, beneficial knowledge, and a child who prays for them.